So in summary, let's go over the different types of methods that are available to you for your fallback. This table kind of lays out the decision factors that you might be thinking about. Will the fallback incur data loss since your upgrade? In other words, for backup and flashback, you're going to that point before the upgrade. You'll lose any application changes made after the upgrade. So there's a limited window of applicability for those techniques. Can you use it after go live, like downgrade or data pump or golden gate? What's the downtime incurred as part of that fallback strategy? Because believe me, if you have to fall back to an older version, somebody higher up your management chain is going to be asking you, what is the downtime involved here? Can you use this as part of a phased migration, a planned approach where you can maybe validate every step of the way? First, the migration to new hardware or upgrade to a new version. Test that out before you even switch over. Then you switch over, and then maybe as a phase, if you need to, go back. Can you do that in piecewise manner? And then finally, can it be used to revert a PDB conversion? Because that's a little different than falling back from an upgrade or a migration. PDB conversion itself makes some fundamental changes to the database architecture that cannot be undone by, say, a flashback. So those are the factors that you want to think about. Whichever method you choose, and you could use multiple of them, you could combine having that good solid backup with an offline backup with a guaranteed restore point and still be practicing your downgrade, for example. But whatever you do, please, please, please practice them, test them up front, because an untested fallback strategy is a huge risk, both to you and to your company. Now, we do often get asked when we're doing these database upgrade migration talks about, well, what about grid infrastructure? Because a good number, probably 30 or 40% of our customers do have rack databases installed, and that would mean grid infrastructure upgrade and so on. And we'll just refer you to the document here about grid infrastructure downgrade. And that's because, well, two reasons. One is we simply don't have time to cover grid infrastructure downgrade as part of this talk. I think you'll agree that the webinar is long enough already. But also because in most cases, downgrade of grid infrastructure is really not necessary. And that's because even if you're downgrading your database, the higher version of grid infrastructure can support the lower version of the database. For example, you can run an 11204 database under 19C grid infrastructure. So the usual approach that we would recommend is to upgrade your grid infrastructure first, let it bake in for about a week, make sure that you're happy with the performance, that you're not encountering any new and strange wait events that you didn't encounter during testing and so on. And then once you're happy with it, then and only then upgrade your database. Because if you've upgraded your database to 19C, you cannot downgrade your grid infrastructure unless you also downgrade the database.